I'm Ralph Alfonso and you're joining me on the Asking for Directions blog. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. As you can see, I'm doing the national salute, waving flies away. It's not too bad over here actually. It just depends where you are and which way the wind's blowing, I guess. I'm here in Exmouth at the moment. I have basically been scuba diving for the last week with Dive Ningaloo on the Ningaloo Reef and the Navy Pier out here, which was an American naval base, and I think it's still operational. Interesting story, they built this base out here to communicate with their submarines out in the Indian Ocean. So ultra low frequency sound wave they're using to communicate. I've had Liz, my co-driver, my fiancée, with me for the last week, and we've been out diving, and it's been fantastic. I've had a bit of a holiday. It's kind of a little bit hard to get back in the groove of things. Still got Rani with me. She's staying with me all the way through Perth back to Melbourne, I think over the next few months, and it's been a bit of an interesting journey. It's hard getting back in the groove, like I said to you, but I've sort of kept an eye out on people I can photograph, even though I've been out scuba diving. So I am photographing and shooting a portrait of the captain of the boat that I was out scuba diving on during this week. He was born in Ningaloo. His name's Joe, and it'll be interesting to sit down and have a chat with him. I sort of avoided him on the boat so I wouldn't get too much information about him, because I want to sit down and just basically let the conversation flow and let it take whichever direction it naturally takes. So that's this afternoon. So I think that'll be good. And then a portrait fell through yesterday. It's interesting, as I've been going through, I've sort of been lining up people and I've been recommended to speak to people, and it might fall through for whatever reason. You know, people are living their lives. I've just sort of turned up in town. So one door closes, I guess, and another door opens, and that's happened all the way through this sort of process. And it's had to sort of change my way of thinking as well, and just relax with that and go with it. So this journey, I guess, around the country and meeting people has been a bit of a journey for me as well, and shifting how I operate and you know, my mindset in being too rigid or not being too rigid. So as I've got further across, I'm probably halfway or a bit more than halfway through at the moment. It's still very exciting. I still wake up and not knowing who I'm going to meet or who I'm going to photograph in the next couple of days. Sometimes I will basically be at the butcher's or the bakery and just run into someone, just start chatting. And with Rani in the truck, between Rani and the truck, it's quite easy to break the ice with people and start chatting to them. So, and people are very keen to know what I'm doing as well, and I'm happy to tell them, and then the information starts flowing. Another little anecdote was I was getting physio done on my calf here by a Spanish guy who's traveling around the country, and he's a qualified physiotherapist, and he was chatting to me and asking me what I was doing, and he was interested in the photographic part and the portrait sort of aspect of what I'm doing. And then I ran into him in the pub the other night, and he came up to me and said, "Oh, I've been talking to some people about what you've been doing and what you're doing, and I think I've got a couple of names for you. So let's see how that pans out as well," because sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, like I said. So it's very, very exciting, and please subscribe, as I mentioned at the start, and follow my stories. I will bring as many to you as possible as I'm travelling down south. I guess after Exmouth, I'm heading towards Steep Point through Carnarvon, and then that'll be the westernmost point off the country. So I've been to Byron Bay, which is the easternmost point, Cape York, northernmost point. Now I'm going to the westernmost point, and then eventually I'll end up at the southern most points off the country as well, down in Tasmania. So follow me, and I look forward to bringing more stories.